This is Chris Lee of Southeastern 14 here to talk about the SEC and the NCAA Super Regionals for baseball. A lot of developments in the SEC within the last couple of days. Rain has kind of wreaked havoc on anything and everything, but here we go. As of Monday morning, you got a couple of teams moving on and from the SEC and a team in the balance here. And let's talk about what happened over the weekend. We last did a video Saturday morning, and again, rain ruined some things and such. But LSU has advanced. I thought the Tigers might have a tough time with Kentucky. I mentioned many things in terms of the matchup and how that went down the first time. That did not materialize at all in Baton Rouge. LSU really has very little trouble with Kentucky after a 14-0 rout in game one. The Tigers take game two by an 8-3 count. In this one, I guess the key thing was relief pitching. Riley Cooper throws 3 scoreless innings. Their lefty, who's been there a couple of years now, and Gavin Guidry, who I guess now is their de facto closer, goes 2 2/3 scoreless to finish that one off for the Tigers. Cade Beloso hits a home run, drives in 3. Dylan Cruz 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs, but 4 walks in that one. So he reached base 5 times. LSU now moving on to Omaha for, man, I don't even know how many times this is now. And we'll wait the winner of Southern Miss and Tennessee. We'll get to that one in just a minute in Omaha. All right, Florida also is advanced. And, boy, it's kind of weird to look at how Florida got there compared to what that team was all season. We had talked about how Florida had just struggled mightily with pitching most of the year, but it seemed like the Gators started to figure some stuff out in the final weeks of the regular season, in which Florida wound up winning the SEC East. And boy, has that carried over to the postseason. The big star of this one in game two was Hurston Waldrop, who goes 8 innings, strikes out 13, and throws 117 pitches. I think that's high, or 39 shy of what Quinn Matthews did at Stanford. Boy, that one got some attention. But Brandon Neely goes a scoreless inning to finish that one out. Florida shuts out South Carolina 4-0, wins that series 2-0, and really shuts down Carolina's bats, which that's quite an accomplishment given Carolina's health. We have talked about how Carolina won that first series 3-0, that the lineup was getting well, that it was going to be a different Carolina team that Florida faced. Well, it was. But guess what else was different? Was Florida. I look at this, and when you see Florida and you say Florida's going to advance to Omaha, what you would expect was a home run barrage. And we did get that at some times. But it seems like the Gators in this one, there were a lot of home runs in that game one, but Florida didn't hit any in game two. It got 6 hits. It turns those into 4 runs. You had in this one, goodness, I guess just 1 extra base hit, that by Colby Halter. But the Gamecocks steal some bases in this one. They get 3 of those and turn that into 4 runs against Carolina. And Carolina on its side, Jack Mahoney just wasn't quite good enough. He goes 4 1/3 innings, gives up 3 earned. Chris Veach was fairly good in relief, goes 2 2/3, gives up a run. And Eli Jones, one of the relief stars, he gives up no runs in 2 innings. But if Florida's getting that kind of pitching, and again, it has been lately with Waldrop, with Sproat, with Caglione pitching better, with Neely, with several guys on that staff just pitching the best they pitched all year. I said before the tournament, I thought Florida would be the team to beat in the College World Series, and it's kind of working out that way so far. We'll see if Florida can advance through the right bracket, which won't be easy. You got some teams that have really caught fire there. But I just like the Gators with the home run power and the way the pitching is going right now. They might be the team to beat in this whole tournament. Now, Wake Forest might have something to say about that. And if these teams meet, it's going to be in the finale in Omaha. And I kind of think that's where this is headed. We'll find out later. But Wake Forest demolishes Alabama 22-5. Wake gets 9 home runs in Sunday's game. And this is off an Alabama pitching staff that is legit. But Alabama throws 8 guys in this one, and none of them are effective. No, look, some of that's the ballpark. I think it's 310 down the line and left and 300 to right, which is absurd. I don't know how that's allowed in college baseball. But, Wake had to pitch to it too. And Wake's staff was one of the top staffs in the country, might have even led the country in ERA, where it was really close. I don't know how you do that pitching in that park most of the time, but Wake's a pretty special team, guys. That team is 52-10 as it heads to Omaha for the first time, I think, since 1955. Josh Hartle was good enough for Wake, and then 3 guys come out of the bullpen and combined to hold Alabama to 1 run in 3 innings. For Alabama, it does get some home runs itself. It gets 1 from Pinckney, 1 from Gassett, and 2 from Colby Shelton, their power-hitting freshman third baseman. But Alabama could not manufacture any offense really outside those home runs. Wake's Brock Wilken becomes the ACC's all-time leader in home runs. He hits 3. That's quite an accomplishment to do that in an ACC that's had just tons of good players. So Wake Forest advancing on. I said before the tournament, I thought Alabama got just a screw job of a draw. I don't know how else to put it. Alabama deserved better than the 16 seed. At regionals, that doesn't really matter. But when you get to the supers and you get paired against a powerhouse team like Wake and its park, it does matter. And it mattered. I think if you put Alabama in some other regionals or some other super regionals, maybe you see the Tide in Omaha, but it was not meant to be. Now, we had an interesting day in Hattiesburg on Sunday. We have a rain-delayed game, a rain-postponed game, I guess is a better way to put it, because that one goes, I think, to the 4th inning on Saturday, does game 1 between Southern Miss and Tennessee. They finished that one up on Sunday, and Southern Miss wins game 1 over Tennessee by, a 5-3 score. And all Southern Miss has to do is win game 2 on Sunday, and it is going to Omaha. And it looked for a long time like that was exactly what was going to happen. Southern Miss jumps out to a 4-0 lead. It's got Chase Dolander on the ropes. And then third baseman Zane Denton makes a terrific play to maybe thwart a little bit more of a rally for Southern Miss. And then Dolander just, I don't know if putting it on cruise control is the right word, but he was pretty effective from that point on. He goes 8 innings, gives up 4 runs, all those earned, walked just 1 guy, strikes out 7, throws 111 pitches. Meanwhile, the Vols offense was pretty quiet through first couple innings. And then really what happened and what changed the trajectory of that series, and you could almost feel it watching it from TV. Blake Burke hits a home run that goes 479 feet and I think brought rain on its way up and down, if it's landed yet. That was a shot. And it just kind of felt like you could miss at that point. Tennessee winds up scoring 6 runs in the 4th to go ahead, 6-4 after 4. Southern Miss did not score another run from that point on. Tanner Hall, the pitcher of the year in the Sun Belt, gets tagged for 6 runs in 4 1/3 innings on 86 pitches. That one got a little chippy. It got chippy on the field. It got chippy in the stands. It got chippy with the umpires. And, hey, what would you expect? It's Tennessee. That just kind of comes with the territory. But the Vols and the Golden Eagles will play a deciding game 3 on Monday night and what should be must-watch TV. Southern Miss coach Scott Berry is a guy who is either going to be playing his last game on Monday night, weather permitting, or he's going to be going on to Omaha. The Vols, of course, the preseason number 2 team. And if Tennessee gets to Omaha, it's hard to call this season a disappointment. If it doesn't, you probably do call it a disappointment. Although Tennessee has really come on late, it's 42-20, and the Vols seem to have solved that issue of not playing very well on the road, because they've certainly done that the last month of the season. All right, we'll have you wrapped up on Tennessee and Southern Miss on Tuesday morning. We'll probably have some content between now and Omaha as we preview some teams from the SEC that are there and maybe a little bit more. Best way to catch that, hit that subscribe button, enable your notifications, hit the like button. That helps out our analytics. I'm Chris Lee for Southeastern 14. More baseball, basketball, and football content from the SEC coming your way soon.